which means they don't deserve to live anymore. It's unfair because right to live, especially when your existence or your number is so scarce, can never be contextual. It's scarce. Scarce can never be contextual anymore, ladies and gentlemen. We're trying to correct the mindset that just because we're humans, we can do anything. We can do anything we want to do. Because at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, there are so many values in society where we try to uphold stewardship, for example, or taking care of the environment, for example. To a lot of things we have to tie about, ladies and gentlemen. At the end of the day, you have to look where are our values non-contradictory, right? The first thing we have to address in Pep's case is this idea of asking us, is this actually commensurate to killing a person, right? He questioned us, is this, the people who buy these things, do they actually deserve to be punished as much? Ladies and gentlemen, when you conspire for a murder, for example, you get the same kind of punishment as that murderer gets, right? That's the exact kind of logic we're trying to apply here. Because just because you weren't there committing the crime, it doesn't mean you weren't willingly doing it in the first place. That's why you have to realize, ladies and gentlemen, that although the involvement is indirect, it still is just as much at the end of the day. But then it tells us, ladies and gentlemen, that it's because these people are poor. One, fine, yeah, right. Because you have to look, these poor people are just hostages of the choicelessness that their plight gave them, right? But we question then, what is your right, just because you have that choicelessness, to transfer this choicelessness to this sector that is so vulnerable in society? Because okay, you have choicelessness, but you can transfer it because you're choiceless? No, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm going to explain in my arguments why necessarily we can solve that choicelessness of the poor people without having to hurt these kinds of sector in society. Okay, so but then he questions us, we're not up for the killing of these endangered species. That's the question, and that's the burden of opposition now in this debate. To tell us that without our policy, how can we protect these endangered species at the end of the day? Because protection here is not just going towards the people who are poor, right? Who are poaching these endangered species. Protection here is more important. In these species, there are very vulnerable, there are very little. At the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, two argumentations. First, I'm going to argue on the messages it sends to society. Because let's deconstruct. Who are these people who poach endangered species, right? These are individuals who are hidden in some faraway town who try to feed food and serve meals to their families. They're individuals who are robbed of so much good fortune in life as a result of these actions. They are people who are faced with a sort of choicelessness. These are the people who think that it's okay as long as we try to feed our families, right? That's exactly the same kind of mentality we want to correct. Because, ladies and gentlemen, the ends don't always justify the means. Just because you want to feed your family doesn't mean it's legitimate for you to kill other people. That's why, right? When you kill people, when you try to rob or steal, these kinds of crimes are actually being penalized at the end of the day, right? When people try to rob other people because they don't have money to feed their families anymore, we criminalize them at the end of the day. Because you have to look at the value, before my second argument, because you have to look at the value of these kinds of sectors who are so vulnerable to society, ladies and gentlemen. Moreover, what we're trying to say is that you cannot compensate the irreparable destruction or the extinction of these species. When you continue this kind of policy, it becomes irreparable, ladies and gentlemen. You cannot compensate this irreparable destruction over temporary economic advancement. Why do we say it's temporary economic advancement? Because at the end of the day, you have to realize the supply of these endangered species won't always be there. They're not even sustainable to begin with. So if you think about feeding these poor people, which we try to solve in this paradigm, when you try to make them dependent on a livelihood that's not sustainable to begin with, it kills them at the end of the day. That's why it's even better on our side, even to these poor people, because you have to force them to look for other means of livelihood to feed their people, ladies and gentlemen. That's when you try to correct so many problems in society. Moreover, ladies and gentlemen, let's look at it on this bigger scale. Because they tell us, let's look at it on this bigger scale, on how society look at it. And this is my second argumentation. Before that, I promise, yes.
I would like to clarify that the opposition bench is not trying to justify the concept of poaching. We are just trying to...
So you're not trying to justify it. about it also. You're allowing this kind of injustice to continue in society, which we do not want to begin with. On the second idea of how do we look at it, ladies and gentlemen, this is why we're going to talk about the movement of environmental protection. Because we have to look at it on the bigger scale, right? Not everyone knows that there are endangered species. Not even everyone cares, right? And how do you want these people to care? That's when you legislate, right? Because ladies and gentlemen, what does legislating entails? It means that rules have to be properly implemented. There must be strict standards to limit what other people do, ladies and gentlemen. I question, if you can legislate against banning dynamite fishing, for example, if you can legislate against illegal logging and other means, why can you not legislate on these kinds of sectors who are even more vulnerable than the trees that are more abundant than the number of endangered species there are? You have to look at the context, ladies and gentlemen. We're not talking about cattle who are millions in breeds, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about endangered species who are like what? 2 or 3 that are remaining in the world, ladies and gentlemen. Moreover, it doesn't hurt to adopt our policy because you have to realize, when do you bulk up in protecting a sector of society, right? It's when, ladies and gentlemen, there are so many losses that cannot be replaced anymore, right? That's why the higher the crime, the greater the punishment, right? We've already contextualized that we shouldn't listen to Harari's speech when he told you how killing these endangered species is commensurate to murder, ladies and gentlemen. Because these individuals aren't so many at the end of the day. And once you kill this little number left, there's not going to be a chance to reintegrate them back into the world, ladies and gentlemen. Moreover, what do we say, ladies and gentlemen? We're telling you that what's the purpose of protecting, of claiming to the world, ladies and gentlemen, that we have to protect our environment. And here's my question. What's the purpose of saying to the entire world that we have to protect our environment, that we have to save water for these endangered species? We're at the most basic level of trying to protect these individuals, we fail. Ultimately, ladies and gentlemen, for the best interest of the people they want to protect, and for the endangered species